December 10th, 1944, evening, near Schoenberg, Belgium. My name is Thomas Brennan, Private First Class, Company A, 801st Tank Destroyer Battalion. I'm 21 years old. I'm starting this diary tonight because Dorothy asked me to. She said it would help me remember things when I get home, help me process things. I don't know about that, but I promised her I'd try. We arrived in this sector 3 days ago. They call it the Ghost Front. That's what the other guys say. Anyway, nothing happens here. The Krauts are just sitting across the Our River Valley, and we're sitting here, and everybody's freezing and bored and waiting for the war to end. Our gun position is dug into a hillside overlooking the valley. Good field of fire if anything comes up the road, which it won't. We've got a 57mm anti-tank gun. British design. They call it the 6-pounder. It's towed behind our half-track, so we're mobile if we need to be. My crew is 6 guys. There's Sergeant Eddie Shaw, the gunner. Best shot I've ever seen. Doesn't talk much but knows that gun like it's part of his body. Jimmy Kowalski is our loader. Big Polish kid from Chicago, always making jokes. Hank Morrison handles ammunition with me. He's from Tennessee, talks slow, moves fast. Tommy Chen drives the half-track. His family's from San Francisco. And there's Frank Delacroix, newest guy, joined us in November. French-Canadian from Maine. We're all crammed into a farmhouse basement tonight. The Belgian family that lived here left weeks ago. Everything's still here. Pictures on the walls. Clothes in the closets. Like they just stepped out for a walk. It's cold. Not Pittsburgh cold yet, but getting there. We keep the stove going, but the wind finds every crack in these stone walls. Eddie and Hank are playing cards. Jimmy's reading a comic book he's read about 100 times. Frank's writing to his girl. I should write to Dorothy, but I wrote her yesterday. Don't want to seem desperate. I miss her so much my chest actually hurts sometimes. Is that normal? We've been engaged since June. Had to postpone the wedding when I got my orders. She took it hard, cried into my shoulder at the train station. I can still feel exactly how that felt. The weight of her against me, her hair smelling like that soap she uses. We're supposed to get married next June if this thing is over. Sometimes I let myself imagine it. The church, her in a white dress, my brother Patrick standing up with me, then a little apartment in Oakland, maybe near my parents. Dorothy wants kids right away. 2 boys and a girl, she says. I think about that a lot, coming home to a family, coaching little league, working at the mill like my dad. Normal things. The officers say the Germans are beaten, finished. They're just waiting for us to push through to Berlin. Could be over by Christmas, some guys say. I don't believe that, but I hope it's true. Got a letter from my mom yesterday. She sent cookies. Peanut butter, my favorite. Also wool socks because she heard how cold it gets over here. She's right. I'm wearing 3 pairs right now and my feet are still numb. My brother Patrick wrote 2. He's still recovering from his wound. North Africa, Kasserine Pass. He doesn't talk about it much in his letters. Just says he's getting better. Working at a depot in New Jersey now. I know it's worse than he lets on. Mom mentioned he has trouble with his arm. Part of me envies him. He did his part, got his wound, gets to be home now. Then I feel guilty for thinking that. I can hear artillery in the distance. Ours, I think. Deep thumping sounds that echo through the valleys. It's constant, like a heartbeat. You stop noticing it after a while. Eddie just looked over at me and asked what I'm writing. I told him it's a diary. He laughed, said that's what girls do. I told him Dorothy asked me to, and he shut up about it. Everybody respects Dorothy, even though they've never met her. I've shown them her picture so many times they probably feel like they know her. She's beautiful. Dark hair, blue eyes, this smile that makes you forget whatever you were worried about. We've known each other since we were kids, lived on the same street. She was my brother's friend first, actually. Then one day when I was 17, I really looked at her and thought, oh, this is the one. Tomorrow we're supposed to run drills. Check the gun elevation, practice loading sequences, maintenance. The same stuff we do every day. It's boring, but it's important. The gun has to work perfectly if we ever need it. I hope we never need it. The thing about the 57mm is that it's barely adequate. Not enough gun for the German heavy tanks. Panthers have sloped armor that'll shrug off our rounds from any distance. Tigers are even worse. If we see a tiger, our orders are basically to run or die. We got one kill back in November. Disabled a Stug assault gun near Aachen. It was far off, and we got lucky with a flank shot. Eddie put the round right through the side armor. The thing just stopped, smoke pouring out. We didn't stick around to see what happened to the crew. That's the only time we fired in anger. One shot, one kill, and then weeks of nothing. I should try to sleep. Guard duty rotation starts at 0400, and I'm on the list. If I close my eyes, I can almost imagine I'm home, in my own bed. Dorothy asleep next to me, the sound of the steel mills in the distance instead of artillery. Morning light coming through the window, 208 days until June. If the war's over by then, that's when we get married. I'm counting every one. December 14th, 1944, afternoon. Same position. Routine day. Exactly like yesterday and the day before. 0600 wake up. Cold rations for breakfast. K rations taste like cardboard mixed with salt. You get used to it, but you never like it. Spent the morning on gun maintenance. Took the whole mechanism apart, cleaned every piece, put it back together. Eddie supervised. He's particular about the gun. Says it's the only thing between us and a German tank, so it better be perfect. The 57mm is a good weapon when it works. Simple design, reliable. But it takes all 6 of us to operate it efficiently. Commander spots the target and calls the range. Gunner traverses and elevates. Loader slams the round in. Ammunition handlers keep the shells coming. Driver positions the half-track for quick displacement if we need to run. We're a team. That's what I'm realizing more every day. Back in basic training, it was every man for himself. Here, if one guy fails, we all die. Makes you tight with people fast. Jimmy Kowalski got a package from his mom today. Polish sausage, some kind of cookies, a scarf she knitted. He shared the sausage with everybody. It was the best thing I've eaten in weeks. Tasted like home. Like real food made by someone who loves you. We sat around the stove and Jimmy told stories about Chicago. His neighborhood, the way his mom makes pierogies on Christmas Eve. He's got 5 sisters, all younger. He's the only son. I asked if his mom was scared when he got drafted. He got quiet. Then he said she cried for 3 days straight. That made me think about my own mother. When I left, she held my face in her hands and made me promise to come home. I promised. I meant it. I still mean it. Frank got a letter from his girlfriend. Marie, her name is. She's pregnant. They weren't married yet. Frank's been walking around looking stunned all afternoon. Happy, but stunned. Keeps reading the letter over and over. Eddie told him congratulations. Said now he's got extra reason to stay alive. Frank nodded, but he looked terrified. I understand. The thought of leaving a kid without a father. That weight. We played cards tonight. I won 3 hands in a row, which never happens. Jimmy accused me of cheating. I wasn't, just got lucky for once. I won 8 cigarettes, which I'll trade for extra coffee rations. I don't smoke much. Tried it a few times, made me dizzy, but cigarettes are currency around here, better than money. Mail call brought 2 letters from Dorothy, one from last week, one from 2 weeks ago. They came out of order. She's working at the grocery store now. They needed help since so many men are overseas. She says it's boring, but the money helps. She's saving for the wedding. She described the dress she wants. White lace. Simple. Nothing too fancy. Her mom's helping her make it. I tried to picture her in it. Couldn't quite manage it. My imagination isn't good enough. I just know she'll be beautiful. She asked if I'm eating enough, if I'm staying warm, if I'm making friends. I wrote back and told her yes to everything, which is mostly true. I didn't mention the cold that never goes away, or the rations that leave you hungry, or the constant low-level fear. No point worrying her. She's got enough to deal with. Rationing. Her job. Planning a wedding by herself. Missing me. I miss her so much it's like a physical ache. Is that normal? To miss someone so much your whole body feels it? There was artillery again tonight, heavier than usual, the Germans firing at something up north. Or maybe us firing at them. Hard to tell. The sound just rolls through the valleys like thunder. Tommy Chen said he heard rumors about increased German patrol activity. Officers are saying it's nothing, just the usual probing. But Tommy thinks something's up. He's got good instincts. I asked Eddie what he thought. He shrugged. Said the brass doesn't tell us anything anyway, so no point worrying about it. Just do your job and stay alert. That's Eddie's philosophy about everything. Do your job. Stay alert. Don't think too much about things you can't control. It's good advice. I try to follow it. My feet are cold. They're always cold now. Even with Mom's wool socks, even right next to the stove, they just won't get warm. Hank says it's the wet. Everything's damp here. Your socks never really dry. The moisture gets into your boots and just stays there. He showed me his feet yesterday. They were white and wrinkled, like he'd been in a bathtub for hours. He said if they get worse, it's trench foot. You can lose toes. Whole feet sometimes. I've been trying to change my socks twice a day. Hang the wet ones by the stove. Doesn't help much. Guard duty starts in an hour. 4-hour shift in a frozen foxhole watching a valley where nothing ever happens. My rifle, my thoughts, and the dark. At least there are stars tonight. The sky is clear. You can see everything. The Big Dipper, Orion, all the constellations my dad taught me when I was a kid. I wonder if Dorothy's looking at the same stars. Probably not. Time difference. But maybe she looked at them last night. Same stars, same sky, connecting us hours even though we're an ocean apart. That's a nice thought. I'll hold on to that during guard duty. December 15th, 1944, late evening, same position. Last night on guard duty I saw something strange. Lights in the distance, German side of the valley. Little flickering points of light like Christmas decorations. At first I thought I was imagining it. Your eyes play tricks after a couple hours in the dark. But no. Definitely lights. A village maybe. Or a base. Germans celebrating something. Christmas is in 10 days. Maybe they were putting up decorations. Seemed bizarre. We're at war. And somewhere across that valley, German soldiers are hanging lights and thinking about home, just like we are. I mentioned it to Eddie this morning. He said the Germans are still people. They've got families, girlfriends, mothers who baked them cookies. They didn't ask for this war any more than we did. Then he said that doesn't matter when they're shooting at you. When it's us or them, you don't think about their mothers. He's right, but it still feels strange. This war would be easier if the enemy were monsters. They're not. They're just guys like us who happen to be born in the wrong place. Today was quieter than usual. Almost peaceful. We did routine maintenance in the morning. Afternoon was free time. Some guys played football with a ball someone scrounged up. I watched from the hillside, hands in my pockets, trying to feel my fingers. I should have joined them, but I wasn't in the mood. Instead, I walked around the perimeter, checked the fields of fire, studied the approaches. If Germans come up that valley road, we'll see them at about 1,000 yards. That's good range for the 57. We can get off maybe 5 rounds before they reach effective range to return fire. If it's panthers or tigers, we're in trouble. Our gun just doesn't have the punch. We'd have to aim for tracks or vision slits, hope for a lucky shot, or run. I hate thinking about that, the possibility of contact, real fighting. Part of me wants it, just to get it over with. The waiting is worse than the doing, they say. I don't know if I believe that. Got another letter from Dorothy today. She's excited about Christmas, says she's going to midnight mass at Sacred Heart. She'll pray for me. Light a candle. I told her I'd try to be at mass too. There's a chaplain attached to the battalion. He does services when he can. I'm not particularly religious, but it would make Dorothy happy if I went. And honestly, a little prayer couldn't hurt. She sent a picture. New one I haven't seen. She's standing in front of her parents' house, wearing the coat I bought her last winter, smiling that smile. I've looked at it about 100 times today. I keep it in my breast pocket, right over my heart. Sounds sentimental, but I don't care. If something happens to me, that's where it should be. I wrote her back tonight, told her about the lights I saw in the German village, told her I think about her constantly, told her about the wedding in June and how I can't wait to see her in that dress she's making. I didn't tell her about the cold or the fear or the feeling that something's coming. She doesn't need that. Frank's still walking around in a daze about the baby. He keeps asking us for advice. None of us have kids. We're all in our early 20s. What do we know? But Jimmy told him what his dad told him. Be there. Show up. Love them. That's all kids really need. Frank nodded like it was the most profound thing he'd ever heard. Maybe it is. Hank's been quiet today. I asked if he's okay. He said his feet hurt. Showed me again. They're worse. Definitely trench foot starting. White skin peeling off. He can barely fit them in his boots. I told him to go to the medic. He said he will tomorrow. He doesn't want to leave the crew short-handed. I said that's stupid. If his feet get worse, he'll be evacuated anyway. Better to treat it now. He promised he'd go. We'll see. There's a sound at night here that I can't figure out. Not artillery, not vehicles, something else. A low rumble, like distant machinery. Or maybe just the wind through the valleys. Tommy thinks it's supply trucks, Germans moving material at night when our planes can't see them. I asked if we should report it. He said the officers already know. They know everything we know, plus a lot we don't. I hope that's true. The thing about being a private is you're at the bottom of the information chain. Nobody tells you anything. You just follow orders and hope they make sense. Sometimes I wonder what the big picture is, where we fit in the overall strategy. Are we holding this position because it's important, or because somebody needed to put us somewhere? Eddie says it doesn't matter. Our job is to stop German tanks if they come. That's the whole job. Don't need to understand grand strategy to do that. I guess he's right. I'm on guard duty again in a few hours. 0200 to 0600. 4 hours in a frozen hole watching for an enemy that probably isn't coming. I'll think about Dorothy. Imagine the wedding. Picture our little apartment, 2 boys and a girl, coming home to dinner. Her smile when I walk through the door. That's what I'm fighting for. Not for Belgium or France or even America, really. For Dorothy. For our future. For the life we're going to build when this is over. 206 days until June. Counting every one. Tomorrow should be another quiet day. Drills in the morning. Maintenance, cards, letters. The same routine we've had for weeks. I'm okay with that. Boring is good. Boring means nobody's shooting at us. I can hear someone crying in the next room. Quiet, trying to hide it. Could be Frank thinking about his baby. Could be anyone. We all understand. There's a tightness in my chest that won't go away. Not panic, just awareness. Like my body knows something my mind doesn't. Probably just the cold, or missing home, or too many days of bad rations. Yeah, probably just that. December 16th, 1944, morning. Same position. My hand is shaking so badly I can barely hold the pen. 0530. We were asleep. All of us. Deep sleep, the kind you only get when you're exhausted. Then the world exploded. Artillery, thousands of guns. All at once. The sound was... I can't describe it. Imagine every thunderstorm you've ever heard happening simultaneously right above your head. The ground shaking so hard you can't stand. The walls of the farmhouse cracking. Dust and plaster falling on us. We scrambled for our gear. Eddie was shouting orders, but I couldn't hear him over the noise. Jimmy's face was white. Absolute terror. We all felt it. The barrage lasted. God, I don't know. 20 minutes? 30? Time stopped meaning anything. Every second was just survival. Don't let a shell hit this building. Please don't let a shell hit this building. When it finally stopped, the silence was worse. My ears were ringing. Still are. Everything sounds muffled, like I'm underwater. We got to our positions. The gun was okay. Covered in debris, but undamaged. The half-track took some shrapnel, but still runs. We were lucky. Down the road, a supply truck was burning. Direct hit, I could see. There were bodies. The fog is so thick you can't see 100 yards. It came in during the night. Now, it's just gray nothing in every direction. Officers are running around shouting orders. Communication lines are cut. Radio's not working right. Nobody knows what's happening. Eddie said, get the gun ready. We loaded an armor-piercing round. Traversed to cover the road. Now we're just waiting. Infantry from the 422 regiment are falling back through our position. They look terrified. One kid, couldn't be more than 18, told us the Germans are everywhere. Tanks, infantry, hundreds of them, maybe thousands. I asked where they came from. He just shook his head, said they came out of the fog. The artillery is still going. Not right here, but all around. North, south. Constant thunder. This isn't a probe. This is something big. I can hear engines. German engines. You can tell the difference. They have a different pitch than ours. They're out there in the fog, moving. My heart is beating so hard it hurts. My hands are clammy, cold sweat running down my back even though I'm freezing. Eddie told us to stay calm, do our jobs. We've trained for this. Frank is praying. Quiet under his breath. Hail Mary, full of grace. Jimmy loaded another shell, just in case. His hands were steady. Better than mine. I can see movement in the fog. Shapes. Could be our guys. Could be Germans. Eddie's looking through the sight, trying to identify targets. It's impossible. The fog is too thick. We can hear small arms fire, machine guns, rifles, the crackle of combat getting closer. An officer ran past. Lieutenant Morrison, different Morrison, not Hank. He shouted to hold position. Engage any German armor. Do not retreat without orders. Then he was gone. The fog is lifting slightly. I can see maybe 200 yards now. There's smoke mixed in. From the burning vehicles. From something else. Oh God. I can see them. Tanks. German tanks. At least 4 of them. Maybe more in the fog. They're moving up the road in column. Eddie's calling the range. 800 yards. 750. Jimmy's ready with another round. My job is to pass ammunition. My hands won't stop shaking. Eddie says wait. Wait for a clean shot. Let them get closer. The lead tank is huge. I think it's a Panther. Sloped armor. Long gun. If that thing sees us, we're dead. 600 yards. Eddie says steady. Steady. I can hear my own breathing. Fast and shallow. My chest feels tight. 500 yards. Eddie says fire. The gun roars. The whole world is noise and flash and smoke. I don't know if we hit. The fog and smoke are too thick. Reload. Jimmy slams another round in. Eddie traverses slightly, looking for the target. The fog shifts. I can see the Panther, still moving. We missed, or we hit but didn't penetrate. Eddie fires again. This time I see the impact. Sparks on the armor. The round bounced off. The Panther's turret is turning. Toward us. Eddie screams to displace. We have maybe seconds before that 88mm gun turns us into vapor. We're unhooking the gun from the half track. Frank and Hank are on the trail. Jimmy and I are grabbing ammunition. Eddie's already in the half track. The Panther fires. The shell passes over our heads. So close I feel the displacement. It hits the farmhouse behind us. The whole building shudders. We're hooked up. Tommy guns the engine. We're moving. Behind us more German armor is coming through. Infantry too. Gray uniforms in the fog. We're falling back. Orders or no orders, we're falling back. The road is chaos. Vehicles, soldiers running, wounded men screaming for help. We're all trying to get away from whatever's coming. I looked back once. German tanks were everywhere, just emerging from the fog like ghosts. We made it to a checkpoint. Some captain I don't know is trying to organize a defense, shouting orders. Nobody's listening. Everybody's just trying to survive. We set up the gun again. Covering a crossroads. Eddie says this is where we make a stand. My mouth is dry. My legs feel like water. I keep thinking about Dorothy, about home, about everything I might never see again. This is real. This is actually happening. The war just became very real. December 16th, 1944. Afternoon, somewhere west of Schönberg. We're still alive. I don't know how. The morning was continuous combat, German armor pushing west, infantry everywhere. We fired the gun until the barrel was too hot to touch, hit a Stug assault gun, disabled it, maybe killed the crew. I don't know. Then we displaced again and again and again. Each time we set up, Germans appeared. Each time we barely got away. Jimmy was hit by shrapnel from a near miss. Piece of metal the size of my thumb embedded in his shoulder. He's alive. Bleeding bad but alive. The medics took him. We're down to 5 men now. The fog finally lifted around noon. That's when we saw how bad it is. German columns as far as you can see. Tanks, half-tracks, trucks, artillery. This is a full offensive. Not a raid, not a probe, a full push. Our entire front is collapsing. We're attached to a mixed group now. Our battalion got scattered. We've got infantry from 3 different regiments. Some engineers, a few other TD crews. Maybe 100 men total. The captain in charge, I didn't catch his name, says we need to hold until orders come through. Delay the Germans as long as possible. Delay them. We've got light weapons and they've got an army. We set up in a tree line overlooking a valley. Good position. We can see the approach roads. Eddie says if we're smart and lucky, we can maybe take out a few vehicles before they flank us. Then we run. That's the plan now. Hit and run. Survive. Frank won't stop talking about his baby. He keeps saying he has to live. He has to meet his kid. Over and over. I told him, we all have reasons to live. He nodded, but I don't think he heard me. Hank's feet are worse. He can barely walk, but he's still loading ammunition, passing shells, doing his job. Tommy's half-track took more damage. Something hit the engine block. It still runs, but it's making bad noises. He says it might quit any time, so we might not be able to displace. Might have to fight from this position and then run on foot. I'm trying not to think about that. We can see German columns moving below us. Too far for our gun. We're just watching, counting, trying to estimate their strength. It's overwhelming. This isn't supposed to happen. The Germans were beaten. Finished. That's what everyone said. They don't look beaten. An infantry sergeant, named Patterson, told us the whole Ardennes front is under attack, from north to south, hundreds of miles, the biggest German offensive since France fell. I asked how that's possible. Where did they get the men? The tanks? The fuel? He just shook his head. Radio traffic is chaos, fragmentary. Units calling for help, headquarters trying to figure out what's happening. Nobody has a clear picture. I heard one transmission, a unit saying they're surrounded, requesting permission to break out, then static. Eddie turned the radio off, said listening to it doesn't help. We're eating cold rations, K rations. Haven't had hot food since yesterday morning. Doesn't matter. My stomach's too tight to eat anyway. I'm forcing it down because I have to. My hands have finally stopped shaking. Or maybe I'm just too tired to shake. I keep touching Dorothy's picture in my pocket, making sure it's still there. It is. A little bent now, but okay. I need to think about her, about home, about after this. But I can't see after this anymore. Can't picture June. Can't imagine the wedding. It's like that future belongs to someone else. The Germans are getting closer. We can hear their engines, their voices sometimes when the wind shifts. Eddie says we'll engage the next column that comes up the road. One pass. Then we displace to the next position. Hank is checking ammunition. We've got about 30 rounds left for the 57. After that we fight as infantry or we run. I've got my M1 Garand, 8 rounds in the clip, 3 more clips on my belt, 32 rounds total. It doesn't feel like enough. The temperature is dropping, going to be well below freezing tonight. If we're still alive tonight, can't think like that. A soldier just ran past, young kid, completely panicked, no weapon, no helmet, just running west. Nobody stopped him. What would we say? I wonder how many men are running, how many are fighting, how many are already dead. I wonder if my mom knows yet, if Dorothy knows. Are they scared? Do they have any idea what's happening over here? God, I hope not. I hope they think everything's fine, that I'm safe in some quiet sector eating hot meals and playing cards. The lie is better than the truth. Movement on the road. German. Half-track. 2 of them. Infantry carriers. Eddie's on the gun. Calling range. 400 yards. We're waiting. Let them get closer. 300 yards. I can see the soldiers inside the half-tracks. Gray uniforms. Young faces. They look as scared as I feel. 200 yards. Eddie fires. Direct hit. The first half-track explodes. Bodies everywhere. The second one tries to reverse. Eddie fires again. Another hit. It's burning. We're unhooking. Moving. The routine is automatic now. Terror makes you efficient. Behind us, more Germans are coming. We can hear them shouting. Engines revving. We're running through the woods. The half-track can barely keep up. Tommy's nursing it along. It sounds like it's dying. We make it to the next position. Another tree line. Another defensive spot someone picked. Set up the gun. Load. Aim. Wait. This is our life now. Run and fight. Fight and run. I don't know how long we can keep this up. The sun is setting. In a few hours it'll be dark. Then what? Eddie says we hold through the night. At dawn, we reassess. Hold through the night. Against an army. With 30 rounds and 5 men. I'm so tired. Not just physically. Tired in my soul. But I can't give up. Dorothy's waiting. My family's waiting. I promised my mother I'd come home. I have to keep that promise. December 17th, 1944, morning. Somewhere south of Saint-Ventevith. We're retreating to Saint-Ventevith. Orders came through around 0300. Fall back to Saint-Ventevith. establish defensive perimeter, hold the town. The roads are complete chaos. Belgian civilians fleeing west. Old people, women, children, pushing carts loaded with everything they own. Some are just walking with nothing, just trying to get away. American soldiers falling back. Every unit you can imagine. Infantry, engineers, artillery, all mixed together. No organization, no real leadership. Just a mass of men moving west trying to stay ahead of the Germans. And German tanks are right behind us, chasing, shooting at anything that moves. We're in a column of vehicles, moving slowly because the roads are clogged. Every few minutes we stop completely. Then we crawl forward a few hundred yards, then stop again. It's terrifying. Sitting still, exposed, waiting for a German shell to hit us. Tommy's half-track is barely running. The engine keeps cutting out. He has to restart it. Each time, it takes longer. I think we're going to have to abandon it soon. Around dawn, we saw a column of American POWs. Hundreds of them. Hands on their heads. German guards marching them east. They looked. I can't describe how they looked. Defeated, terrified. Some were wounded. All were exhausted. One of them was a guy I knew from basic training. Miller, from New York. We were friends. He saw me. Our eyes met. He didn't say anything, just looked away. I wanted to do something. But what? We kept moving. Eddie said it could have been us. Could still be us, if we're not careful. That image won't leave my head. Miller, with his hands on his head, being marched into captivity. Is that how this ends? Captured? Spending the rest of the war in some German prison camp? Or worse? There are rumors. Guys talking about a massacre. American prisoners shot, murdered in a field somewhere near Malmedy. I don't know if it's true, but the fear is real. If the Germans capture us, will they take prisoners? Or will they just kill us? Frank is terrified about it. He keeps saying he can't die. He has to meet his baby. He has to. Hank can barely walk anymore. His feet are black, swollen. He's in constant pain, but he won't stop. He keeps moving because stopping means getting left behind. We passed burning vehicles all morning. Tanks, trucks, jeeps, some American, some German. The smell is horrible. Oil, rubber, and other things I don't want to think about. We saw bodies, lots of them, frozen in the positions they died in. Some were covered with snow, some weren't. You just had to step around them and keep moving. I'm getting numb to it. That scares me. Yesterday, seeing a dead body would have made me sick. Today, I barely notice. I just step over them. What's happening to me? Around noon, the column stopped completely. Total traffic jam. Refugees, military vehicles, everyone trying to use the same roads. A German spotter plane flew over, slow, low, looking at us. We all knew what came next. Artillery. They shelled the road. Random impacts trying to hit the massive vehicles. We scattered, abandoned the half-track, ran for the ditches. Shells were landing everywhere. Geysers of frozen dirt, shrapnel whining through the air, screams. I was face down in a ditch, hands over my head, praying. Not even words, just please, please, please. The barrage lasted maybe 5 minutes, felt like hours. When it stopped, I looked up. The half-track was gone. Direct hit, just pieces of metal scattered across the road. All our gear, our supplies, everything we couldn't carry, gone. Tommy was sitting in the ditch, staring at where the half-track used to be. He didn't say anything, just stared. We're on foot now, carrying the gun. It takes all of us. The gun barrel across Eddie's and Hank's shoulders. Frank and I carrying the base and trail. Tommy carrying ammunition. It's heavy, probably 60 pounds of gun, plus ammunition, plus our personal gear. We're moving slowly. Hank can barely walk. We're basically dragging him. I don't think we can keep the gun. We can't move fast enough. If the Germans catch us, we're dead. Eddie knows it too. I can see him thinking about it, calculating. How much is the gun worth versus our lives? We made it to St. Vith around 1400 hours. The town is a madhouse. Soldiers everywhere. Officers trying to organize defenses. Nobody really knowing what to do. We found an officer from our battalion. Captain Reeves. He looked exhausted. Told us to set up on the eastern edge of town, cover the road, hold as long as possible. We found a spot, A stone wall near a barn. Good protection. Clear field of fire down the road. We set up the gun, loaded it. Now we're waiting again. St. Vith is surrounded on 3 sides. Germans are probing from the north, from the south, from the east. It's only a matter of time before they attack in force. The plan is to hold the town, deny the Germans this road junction, make them go around, buy time for reinforcements, but I don't think reinforcements are coming. I'm sitting with my back against the wall, hands shaking again. I thought I was past that. Dorothy's picture is bent. The corners are torn, but I can still see her face, still see that smile. I tried to imagine her right now. What's she doing? It's morning in Pittsburgh. Maybe she's at work, stocking shelves, thinking about me, hoping I'm safe. I'm sorry, Dorothy. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard to stay alive for you. I don't know if trying is enough. December 18th, 1944, evening. Saint Vith perimeter. We're still here, still fighting. The Germans attacked at first light. Infantry and armor. They came at us from 3 directions. We held. I don't know how, but we held. The fighting was continuous. Wave after wave of German soldiers. We fired the 57 until the barrel glowed red, hit 2 Panzer IVs. Confirmed kills. Saw them brew up. Black smoke pouring from the hatches. Eddie was magnificent. Cool. Precise. Calling ranges like he was on a practice range instead of in the middle of hell. Every shot counted. We don't have ammunition to waste. Between tank shots, we used our rifles. Germans were that close. 100 yards sometimes. 50. Close enough to see their faces. I killed a man today. Maybe more than one. I'm not sure. There was a German soldier running toward our position, rifle in his hands, maybe 20 yards away. I aimed my Garand, fired. He went down. I don't know if I hit him or if someone else did, but he went down and didn't get up. I should feel something about that. Guilt, shame, horror, something. I don't feel anything. He was trying to kill me. I tried to kill him first. That's all. Is that normal? To feel nothing? Around noon the Germans pulled back. Regrouping, we used the time to scrounge ammunition, found some abandoned positions with shells, grabbed everything we could carry. We've got maybe 20 rounds left for the gun now. After that, we're useless as anti-tank, just infantry with rifles. A supply truck made it through the encirclement, brought food, ammunition, medical supplies, first hot food in 2 days. Coffee, real coffee, not the instant stuff. It tasted like heaven. The medics set up in the church, wounded men everywhere. The priest is helping. Old Belgian man with kind eyes. He doesn't speak English, but he understands suffering. I saw Jimmy there. He's alive. The shrapnel wound isn't as bad as we thought. They patched him up, gave him morphine. He was loopy but smiling. He grabbed my hand, asked if we're winning. I lied. I told him yes. He smiled and went back to sleep. We're not winning. We're just not losing yet. There's a difference. Hank finally went to the medics. His feet are bad. Really bad. Infected. They're talking about evacuation. Possible amputation if the infection spreads. He begged them to let him stay. Said he's not leaving his crew. They said he doesn't have a choice. If he stays, he'll lose his feet. Maybe his legs. Maybe his life. He cried. Big Tennessee boy who never complains about anything. And he cried. He made us promise to make it out, to survive, to tell his family he did his job. We promised. They took him away on a jeep heading west. If he makes it through the German lines, if the jeep doesn't get hit, if. We're down to 4 men now. Eddie, Frank, Tommy, and me. 4 men to crew a gun that needs 6. We'll make it work. We have to. The Germans attacked again in the afternoon. Heavier this time, more armor. Tigers this time, real tigers. When you see a tiger tank for the first time, you understand what fear really is. It's massive. The gun is massive. The armor is massive. And our 57mm might as well be a pop gun. Eddie didn't even try to engage the tiger. He said it would be suicide. The round would just bounce off. Instead, we targeted the infantry following the tiger. Fired He rounds. High explosive. Anti-personnel. I don't want to describe what those rounds do to human bodies. We held our position until dark. Then we displaced to a new spot. Orders from Captain Reeves: consolidate the perimeter, pull back to tighter positions around the town center. We're losing ground, slowly, inevitably. Tonight, St. Vith is an island. Germans all around us. We can hear their vehicles moving in the dark. Engines, tracks. They're getting into position for tomorrow's assault. We know what's coming. Everyone knows. Tomorrow they're going to hit us with everything, overwhelm us, break through. Captain Reeves called a meeting. All the surviving officers and NCOs. Eddie went. He came back looking grim. He said the plan is to hold as long as possible, maybe another day, maybe two, give other units time to fall back, time to establish new defensive lines. We're buying time with our lives. Nobody said it that way, but that's what it means. Frank is writing a letter to Marie, in case he doesn't make it. He asked me to mail it if. I said I would. Put it in my pocket next to Dorothy's picture. Tommy is cleaning his rifle. Over and over. The same motions. Take apart, clean, reassemble. Take apart, clean, reassemble. I asked if he's okay. He said no, but he's doing it anyway. I understand that. None of us are okay. But we're doing it anyway. Eddie is asleep. Or pretending to be. He's been on his feet for 2 days straight, running on adrenaline and coffee and sheer will. I should sleep too. We've got guard rotations through the night. I'm on at 0200, but I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see that German soldier going down. I see Jimmy's face, Hank crying, Miller being marched away. I see Dorothy, the way she looked at the train station, crying into my shoulder, begging me to come back. I promised her I would. I meant it. I still mean it. But I don't know if promises matter anymore. I don't know if wanting to live is enough to keep you alive. Luck. That's what Eddie says. Luck matters more than skill, more than courage, more than anything. Have I used up my luck? Is there any left? I don't know. All I know is tomorrow the Germans are coming, and we're going to fight them, and some of us won't see tomorrow night. Maybe none of us will. I keep touching Dorothy's picture. The paper is soft now from handling. The image is fading, but I can still see her face. That's what I'm fighting for. That face. That smile. That future we planned. 204 days until June. If I'm lucky. If I'm very, very lucky. Please God, let me be lucky. December 19th, 1944. Late night. Somewhere in the woods south of St. Vith. St. Vith is gone. We got out. Barely. The Germans attacked before dawn. Everything they had. Tanks, artillery, infantry. The whole town shook. We fought from our position until the ammunition ran out. 17 rounds. That's all we had left. We made everyone count. Hit a Panzer IV. Damaged its tracks. It slewed sideways and stopped. Crew bailed out. Hit another vehicle. Half track, I think. Hard to tell through the smoke and chaos. Then we were out. No more ammunition. Eddie said abandon the gun. We can't take it with us. Can't use it. It's just dead weight now. We've been with that gun for months, maintained it, relied on it. It kept us alive. Leaving it felt like betraying a friend. But we had no choice. We grabbed our rifles, our gear, and we ran. The town was chaos. Buildings burning. Wounded men crying for help. Officers shouting contradictory orders. German tanks were in the streets. Tigers. Panthers. Just rolling through like they owned the place. We ran west. Through alleys. Through buildings. Through yards. Just trying to stay ahead of the advance. A Tiger tank passed us. Maybe 50 yards away. We were in a destroyed building. Hiding. Praying it wouldn't see us. The thing was massive up close. The ground shook when it moved. The engine roared. The exhaust smelled like diesel and death. It turned its turret, slowly, scanning, looking for targets. We held our breath, absolutely still. 4 men frozen in a ruined building while a German tank hunted us. The turret kept turning, past us. The tank kept moving. It didn't see us. Pure luck. Nothing else. If the crew had looked our way, if they'd had infantry support, if. We waited until it was gone. Then we ran again. Found a column of men heading west. told them to get out before the Germans closed the ring completely. We joined them, maybe 30 soldiers, all from different units, all running, no officers, no plan, just survival. We made it out of St. Vith around noon. The Germans were entering from the east as we left from the west. Another hour and we would have been trapped. Jimmy was with the wounded. They were trying to evacuate them. I don't know if they made it. I hope they did. We're in the woods now, south of the town, moving west as fast as we can. The temperature dropped hard tonight, below 0 for sure, maybe 10 below. I can't feel my feet. My hands are numb even inside my gloves. We're following a stream. Tommy says it runs west, toward our lines, toward safety. I don't know if there are any lines anymore. I don't know if there's any safety. We've been walking for hours. Nobody's talking. We're too exhausted, too cold, too scared. Every sound makes us jump. Every shadow could be Germans. Around 2000 hours, we heard vehicles, German vehicles. They're on the roads, hunting for stragglers. We hid in the woods, let them pass, then kept moving. Frank is in bad shape. He twisted his ankle. He's limping, slowing us down. But we're not leaving him. Eddie's leading us. He found a compass on a dead German. We're heading west-southwest, trying to find friendly lines. If there are any friendly lines. The forest at night is absolutely black. Can't see your hand in front of your face. We're moving by feel, stumbling over roots, walking into branches. Someone is crying. Quiet sobs. Trying to hide it. I think it's Frank. We all understand. I keep thinking about the gun. Our 57mm, we left it in that street. The Germans probably captured it by now. Or destroyed it. All those months with that gun. All that training. All that maintenance. Gone. We're just infantry now. 4 guys with rifles and not much ammunition. I've got maybe 20 rounds left for my Garand. Eddie's got less. Frank and Tommy have about the same. 80 rounds between 4 men. Against an army. We're going to die out here. In these woods. Cold. Lost. Alone. No. Can't think like that. Have to keep moving. Have to stay alive. Dorothy's waiting. My family's waiting, I promised. We stopped to rest, just for a few minutes. Eddie says we can't stop long. We'll freeze if we stop moving. My feet hurt so bad. Every step is agony. The cold gets into your boots, into your bones. It doesn't leave. Frank showed me his ankle. It's swollen, probably sprained, maybe broken, Daz. He can barely put weight on it. Tommy gave him his shoulder. They're walking together, slow but moving. I can hear artillery in the distance. Whose, I don't know. Just constant rumbling. The war grinding on while we stumble through dark woods trying to find our way home. We passed more bodies tonight. Frozen soldiers, German and American. Just lying in the snow. Nobody to bury them. Nobody to care. Will that be us? Will some other soldiers find our frozen bodies in a week, a month? Will Dorothy ever know what happened to me? Or will I just be missing in action? A question mark that haunts her forever. I can't do that to her. I have to survive. I have to get out of this. I have to make it home. Eddie says we'll rest here until dawn, then reassess, try to figure out where we are, where the Germans are, where our lines might be. I'm writing this by moonlight. Barely enough to see the paper. My hands are shaking from the cold. I don't know if anyone will ever read this. If I die out here, will someone find this diary? Will they send it to Dorothy? I hope so. I hope she knows I tried. I hope she knows I thought about her every day, every hour. I hope she knows I love her, that she was the only thing keeping me sane, the only thing worth surviving for. 203 days until June. That was the plan. Get married in June. Start our life together. I still want that. God, I want that so much. But I can't see it anymore. Can't picture the church. Can't imagine her in that dress. The future is just dark now, like these woods. Have to sleep, have to rest. Tomorrow we keep moving. We survive. We have to. December 21st, 1944, afternoon, somewhere in Belgium. We're behind Allied lines, I think, maybe. The situation is so confused nobody really knows where the lines are anymore. We walked for 2 days through those woods, cold, hungry, lost. On the 20th, we ran into a patrol, American patrol, 82nd Airborne. They were as surprised to see us as we were to see them. They gave us food, water, directions, told us to head southwest. There's a collection point for stragglers about 10 kilometers that way. We made it there yesterday evening. It's not much. A crossroads, some tents, maybe 200 soldiers from a dozen different units. All of us lost. All of us looking for our units. I found out what happened to the 422 regiment, the one we were attached to. They're gone. Surrendered on the 19th. 2 entire regiments of the 106th Division, 8,000 men, maybe 9,000, captured, marched into prison camps. We were with them 3 days ago. We could have been with them, should have been with them. Pure luck that we weren't, nothing else. Just random chance that we were in St. Vith, instead of up on the Schnee Eifel where those regiments got surrounded. Eddie keeps saying it. We're lucky. So goddamn lucky. But I don't feel lucky. I feel guilty. All those men we knew, guys we ate with, played cards with, they're prisoners now. Or dead. Why them and not us? Frank's ankle is bad. The medics looked at it. Sprained. They wrapped it, gave him some pain pills, told him to stay off it. He laughed. Bitter laugh. Where's he supposed to go that he can stay off it? They're trying to organize us into provisional units. Take the stragglers and form them into fighting groups. Send us back to the line. I heard we're being sent toward Bastogne. The 101st Airborne is surrounded there. They need help. Or maybe we're going north. Toward Manhay. Nobody seems to know. The whole situation is chaos. The Germans punched through in multiple places, created a bulge in our lines. That's what they're calling it. The bulge. How big? How deep? Nobody knows for sure. 50 miles maybe. Could be more. And we're just 4 guys, 4 soldiers with rifles. What difference can we make? But orders are orders. We'll go where they send us, do what they tell us, try to stay alive. I got mail today. Don't know how it found me, but there was a letter from Dorothy, dated December 8th, before everything went to hell. She's excited about Christmas, making decorations with her mother, baking cookies. She sent me one, gingerbread. It's broken into pieces, but I ate it anyway. Best thing I've tasted in days. She doesn't know. Doesn't know about the offensive. Doesn't know I almost died. Probably still doesn't know. The news won't reach the States for days. I'm glad. Let her have Christmas. Let her be happy for a little while longer. I can't write her back yet. Don't know what I'd say. Can't tell her the truth. Can't lie convincingly. So I'll wait. Until things calm down. Until I know what to say. Eddie found out our battalion is near Manhay. What's left of it. They're reforming, taking replacements. We're supposed to join them tomorrow. I don't know how many of the original battalion are left. Don't want to know. Tommy's been quiet since St. Vith. He barely speaks. Just stares into space. I tried talking to him. He didn't respond. Shell shock, maybe. Combat fatigue. Whatever they call it. I think we all have it to some degree. This numbness. This disconnect from reality. I watched a man die today. Just collapsed. Heart attack, the medic said. Stress. Exhaustion. Fear. His heart just gave out. He wasn't wounded. Wasn't shot. Just died. I looked at his body and felt nothing. Just thought, one less mouth to feed. Then felt sick for thinking it. What's happening to me? What's this war doing to me? I used to be a good person, didn't I? Cared about people. Had empathy. Now I just want to survive. Everything else is secondary. Is that normal? Is that what combat does? Strips away everything that makes you human until you're just an animal trying to stay alive. Eddie says it's survival. Says you can't afford to feel too much. You'll break. Maybe he's right. Maybe this numbness is protective. A shell around my heart that keeps me functional. But what happens after? When the war's over and I go home? Does the shell come off? Can I be human again? Will Dorothy recognize me? Will I recognize myself? I keep thinking about St. Vith, about abandoning the gun, about running while wounded men scream for help. I did what I had to do. We all did. To survive. But I'll never forget those screams, never forget the men we left behind. The temperature is brutal. -15, someone said. Maybe colder. My feet are white, wrinkled, like Hank's were. I'm trying to change my socks, keep them dry, but everything's wet, everything's frozen. If I survive this war, I'm never going to be cold again. I'm moving somewhere warm. Florida, maybe. Somewhere the sun shines and it's never below freezing. Dorothy would like that. She hates winter too. There's hot coffee. Real coffee. I've had 3 cups. It's burned and bitter, but it's hot and that's all that matters. They gave us fresh rations. K rations, but fresh ones. Haven't eaten in 2 days except Dorothy's broken cookie. I ate everything in 10 minutes. Still hungry. Eddie says we'll get a hot meal tomorrow when we rejoin the battalion. Probably says chow. Maybe even showers. That sounds like heaven. A hot shower. Clean clothes. Sleep in a real bed. Small comforts. But after St. Vith, they sound like miracles. Frank read his letter to Marie again. The one he wrote in case he died. He's thinking about tearing it up. We survived. Maybe we'll keep surviving. I told him to keep it, just in case. He nodded. Put it back in his pocket. We're all carrying letters like that now. Final words for loved ones, just in case. I should write one for Dorothy. Tell her I love her. Tell her to be happy. Find someone else if I don't make it. But I can't. Writing that would make it real, would make death a possibility I'm accepting. I'm not accepting it. I'm fighting it. I'm going to survive. Going to make it home. Going to marry Dorothy in June. That's the plan. Only plan that matters. 201 days until June. Still counting. December 22nd, 1944, evening. Defensive position near Manhay. We found the battalion. Or what's left of it. Of the 3 companies that made up the 801st TD Battalion, maybe half are left. The rest are dead. Captured, missing, scattered. Company A, our company, is down to maybe 30 men. We had over 100. They gave us new assignments. Eddie's still a gunner, but we don't have a gun. The battalion lost most of the 57 millimeters. Some captured, some destroyed, some abandoned during the retreat. We're fighting as infantry now, attached to defensive positions near Manhay. It's a crossroads, important for logistics. If the Germans take it, they can push north toward Liège. So we hold it, us and whoever else they can scrape together. We met the new guys, replacements, fresh from training. They look so young. Were we ever that young? One kid, can't be more than 18, asked me if I've seen combat. I laughed. Couldn't help it. Bitter laugh. Eddie told him we were at St. Vith. The kid's eyes went wide. He'd heard about St. Vith. The last stand, the desperate fighting. He asked if it was as bad as they say. I told him it was worse. He looked terrified. I felt bad for scaring him, but better scared and alert than overconfident and dead. The kid's name is Murphy, from Iowa, farm boy, never been east of the Mississippi before basic training. He asked me how to stay alive. What's the secret? I didn't know what to tell him. Luck? Prayer? I just said keep your head down and do what the sergeants tell you. He nodded like I'd given him sage wisdom. I hadn't. I don't have any wisdom. I'm just as lost as he is. Frank's ankle is better. Still swollen, but he can walk on it. The medics cleared him for light duty. Light duty. There's no such thing anymore. You fight or you die. That's the only distinction. Tommy's still not talking much. He does his job, cleans his rifle, eats, sleeps. But there's something gone from his eyes. Like the lights are on but nobody's home. Eddie's worried about him. So am I. But what can we do? The medics are overwhelmed with physical wounds. Mental wounds? Those don't matter. You're alive. You fight. We're dug in on a hillside. Foxholes. 2 men per hole. I'm with Eddie. Frank's with Tommy. The holes are shallow. Ground's frozen solid. Takes hours to dig a foot deep. We did the best we could. It's not enough. If artillery hits, these holes won't save us. But they're better than nothing. The view from our position is good. We can see the road. The approach from the south. If German tanks come, we'll see them. And then what? We've got rifles. Maybe a bazooka team somewhere. No anti-tank guns. No artillery support. We're supposed to call in fire missions if we spot armor. Radio to battalion. They'll send planes or artillery. If the radio works. If the weather's clear. If If. The weather changed today. The fog finally lifted. Skies clear, cold and clear, and suddenly there are planes, American planes, everywhere. P-47s, Thunderbolts, flying low, strafing German positions, bombing roads. I watched one dive on a column of vehicles, rockets streaking down, explosions, black smoke. It was beautiful. Is that wrong? To think war is beautiful? But after days of running, days of being hunted, seeing our planes hunt them, it felt like justice. The Germans have been bombing and strafing us for days. Now it's their turn. Morale is up. Not good, but better. Men are smiling, making jokes. The planes give us hope. Maybe we can hold. Maybe we can stop them. Maybe we can even push them back. We got hot food today. Real hot food. Stew, bread, coffee. Sat in a tent and ate like human beings. It was wonderful. I almost cried. Over stew. That's how bad things have been. There's a shower truck. They're running rotations. 20 minutes per man. Hot water. I can't wait. I smell like death. We all do. Days of sweat and fear and unwashed bodies. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Hard to believe. This time last year, I was home, safe, happy. Dorothy and I went to midnight mass, held hands in the pew, kissed under the mistletoe her mother hung in the doorway. It was perfect, simple and perfect. Now I'm in a frozen foxhole in Belgium, surrounded by an enemy army, wondering if I'll see tomorrow. The chaplain is holding services tomorrow night, Christmas Eve Mass. He's setting up in a barn. Says everyone's welcome. I'm going to go. For Dorothy, for myself, for the hope that maybe God's listening. I'm not particularly religious. Never have been. But right now, I'll take all the help I can get. The night is clear. Stars everywhere. The same stars Dorothy's seeing. Same moon, same sky. I wonder what she's doing right now. It's afternoon in Pittsburgh. Maybe she's at work. Or home helping her mother prepare for Christmas. Is she thinking about me? Does she know I'm alive? Does she worry? Of course she worries. She loves me. That's what love is. Worry wrapped in hope. I love you, Dorothy. If you ever read this, know that. I think about you every moment. You're the only thing keeping me sane. You're the reason I'm still fighting, still trying, still believing I can survive this. 200 days until June. Exactly 200. Halfway through winter, halfway to summer, halfway to home. I can do this. I can survive 200 more days. I have to. December 24th, 1944, late night. Same position. Christmas Eve. We held mass in the barn. Chaplain Brennan. Different Brennan, no relation. Irish like me, though. From Boston. He set up a makeshift altar. Used an ammunition crate covered with a white cloth, candles, a small cross. Maybe 50 men showed up. Catholics, Protestants, Jews, didn't matter. We all needed something to believe in. The chaplain talked about hope, about peace, about the Christmas story, Mary and Joseph fleeing to Egypt, refugees, homeless, afraid. He said they would have understood us, would have understood what it's like to be far from home, in danger, uncertain. But they had hope, faith that God had a plan, that suffering had meaning. I wanted to believe him, tried to believe him, but it's hard. After St. Vith, after seeing so many die, what plan includes all that death? What meaning is there in frozen bodies and burning buildings and 8,000 men marched into captivity? But I didn't say that. Just bowed my head and prayed. I prayed for Dorothy, for my family, for the crew, for all the guys we lost. I prayed for Jimmy, wherever he is, for Hank and his feet, for all the wounded. I prayed for the Germans too. Their mothers miss them too. Their girlfriends worry. Is that wrong? To pray for the enemy? Chaplain says no. Says God loves all his children. I don't know. It feels wrong. They're trying to kill us. But they're also cold and scared and far from home. Just like us. After Mass, we sang Silent Night. All is calm. All is bright. It's not calm. It's not bright. But we sang it anyway. Men were crying, trying to hide it but failing. I was one of them. The melody reminded me of home, of church, of everything normal and good and safe. Everything we might never see again. We got Christmas packages from the Red Cross, cookies, candy, cigarettes, playing cards. Letters from school children in America saying thank you for your service. One letter was from a little girl. Third grade. Name was Sally. She drew a picture of Santa Claus and American soldiers. We're all smiling in the picture, defeating the bad guys. I kept it, put it in my pocket with Dorothy's picture and Frank's letter. Silly thing to keep. But it made me remember why we're here, what we're fighting for. Kids like Sally who drew pictures and believed in Santa and didn't know about St. Vith. We have to protect that innocence, that hope. Even if we lose ours in the process, we shared the cookies and candy, divided everything evenly. Frank got a fruitcake. He hates fruitcake. Gave it to Tommy who loves it. Small moments of humanity, sharing, kindness. They matter more now than ever. Murphy, the new kid, got a letter from his girl. He read it out loud. She's worried about him, wants him to come home safe, promises to wait for him. All the guys listening got quiet, thinking about their own girls, their own families, their own reasons to survive. Eddie got a package from his wife. Didn't know he was married. He never talks about her, never mentions home. He opened it alone. In the corner, I saw him crying, silent tears running down his face. He didn't wipe them away, just let them fall. Later, I asked if he's okay. He nodded, said his wife's pregnant. He's going to be a father in April. He didn't know. The letter told him. 7 months along. She waited to tell him, didn't want him distracted. Now he knows. Now he has to survive, not just for himself, for his child. A kid he's never met, might never meet. I told him congratulations. He just nodded. The weight of that, fighting for a future you can only imagine. A child you might never hold. A life you might never live. We all carry that weight now. Frank and his unborn baby. Eddie and his. Me and Dorothy and the life we planned. Murphy and his girl from Iowa. Tommy and whatever he's thinking about, locked in his silent world. All of us fighting for futures that might not exist. The Germans attacked at dusk. Probing attack, testing our defenses. We drove them back. Artillery support from behind our lines smashed their column. 2 Panzer IVs destroyed. Maybe 20 infantry casualties. We took 1 wounded. Guy from another company. Shrapnel in the leg. He'll live. We won that engagement. Small victory on Christmas Eve. But we know they'll be back. Tomorrow. The day after. They'll keep coming until they break through or we break them. It's after midnight now. Officially Christmas. Merry Christmas, Dorothy. I hope you're asleep, safe, warm, dreaming good dreams. I hope you had a wonderful day, went to Mass, had dinner with your family, opened presents, laughed. I hope you thought about me, but not too much, not enough to worry. I'm okay. I'm alive. I'm fighting. I'm coming home. I promise. I'm coming home. 199 days until June. 199 days until I marry you. 199 days until I'm whole again. Merry Christmas, my love. December 27th, 1944, afternoon, same position. Bastogne is relieved. Patton's 3rd Army broke through on the 26th. The 101st Airborne held. The siege is over. When we heard the news, men cheered. First real cheers I've heard since before the offensive started. It means the German advances stopped. They didn't reach the Meuse, didn't capture the fuel depots, didn't split our armies. They're stuck, overextended. Now we can start pushing them back. At least that's the theory. But we're still here, still cold, still in danger, still fighting. The Germans haven't given up. They're still attacking, still trying, desperate now. Which makes them more dangerous, not less. Desperate men do desperate things. Yesterday, Christmas Day, they hit us hard. All day fighting. Waves of infantry, some armor, artillery support. We held. Barely. Lost 2 men from our provisional company. Miller, not the same Miller from basic training, and a guy named Jackson. Direct artillery hit on their foxhole. Nothing left but a crater. We buried what we could find. Chaplain said words. We moved on. That's all you can do. Mourn for 5 minutes, then keep fighting. Frank's not doing well. Physically, he's okay. Ankle's healing. But mentally, he's slipping. He keeps talking about the baby, about Marie, about how he has to survive, has to meet his child, over and over, like a mantra. I tried to talk to him, tell him we all want to survive. He has to stay focused, Stay present. He didn't hear me, just kept repeating it. Have to survive. Have to meet the baby. Have to survive. Eddie's worried. Says Frank might do something stupid. Take unnecessary risks because he's not thinking clearly, or the opposite. Freeze up when we need him. Either way, it's a problem. But what can we do? We need every man. Can't send him to the rear. Can't spare him. So we watch him. Try to keep him together. Hope he holds. Tommy's still quiet, still withdrawn, but he's functional. Does his job. Follows orders. That's enough. Hank's feet required amputation. 3 toes on each foot. Could have been worse. Could have been whole feet. He's stateside now. Recovering in a hospital in New Jersey. Sent Eddie a letter. Said to tell everyone he's sorry he couldn't finish the fight. Sorry. Like it's his fault his feet froze. Like he failed us. Eddie wrote him back. Told him he did his job. Did it well. Told him to heal up and get home to Tennessee. Told him we'd finish it for him. I hope that's true. I hope we can finish it. Some days I'm not sure. The offensive is 2 weeks old now. Feels like months. Like years. I can barely remember what peace felt like. What normal felt like. This is normal now. Fear, cold, death. The possibility of dying before noon. Murphy got hit yesterday. Not bad. Bullet grazed his arm. Barely broke skin. But it shook him. The reality of being shot. That it's real. That he can be killed. He came to me after the medic patched him up. Asked if it gets easier. I lied. I told him yes. Truth is, it gets harder. Each day, each engagement, each friend you lose. The fear compounds. The exhaustion builds. The numbness deepens. But he needed hope. So I gave him a lie. Sometimes lies are kinder than truth. We got mail today. More packages. More letters. The mail system's catching up now that the lines have stabilized. I got 3 letters from Dorothy. All from before Christmas. She's worried. The news about the offensive reached the States. Headlines, American Army faces crisis in Belgium. She knows I'm in Belgium, knows I'm in danger. The not knowing if I'm alive is killing her. I wrote her back immediately. Told her I'm fine, safe, healthy. The fighting's mostly over. All lies, but kind lies. What else can I tell her? I can't say I almost died. Can't say I abandoned wounded men. Can't say I watched friends die and felt nothing. I can't tell her I'm becoming someone she won't recognize, someone I don't recognize. So I lie. I tell her about the Christmas packages, about the barn mass, about singing Silent Night. I tell her I love her, I miss her, I can't wait to marry her in June. That part's true. The only truth I have left. The weather turned worse. Snowing now. Heavy snow. Makes visibility difficult but also slows German attacks. Trade-offs. Always trade-offs. At least the planes can't fly in this. German or ours. So the artillery quiets. The bombing stops. Just infantry fighting in the snow. Old-fashioned. Almost gentle compared to armor and airstrikes. Almost. We're running low on ammunition, rations, fuel, everything. Supply lines are stretched. Trucks getting through but not enough. We're rationing bullets. Eddie says make every shot count. Can't afford to waste ammunition on suppressing fire or harassment. Only shoot to kill. Only shoot when you have a clear target. It's working so far. But if the Germans come in force again, if we have to sustain fire for hours, we'll run dry. Then what? Fix bayonets and charge? The thought makes me sick. I'm tired. So tired. Not just physically. Tired in my soul. I've been at war for 4 months. Combat for 3 weeks. Feels like decades. How do men do this for years? How did my brother survive North Africa and Sicily and Italy? How does anyone survive and stay human? Maybe they don't. Maybe they all come back changed. Broken. Pretending to be whole. Maybe that's my future. If I survive. Pretending to be Tom Brennan while something else wears my face. Can't think like that. Have to stay positive. Have to believe. 196 days until June. Still counting, still hoping, still fighting. January 3rd, 1945 evening. Somewhere near Hofaliz. We're pushing them back. Actually advancing, retaking ground. The counter-offensive started a few days ago. Us and the British and whoever else is left. Moving east. Back toward Saint Vith. Back toward the ground we held in December. All that death. All that suffering. Just to end up back where we started. The irony is bitter. But at least we're moving forward, not running anymore, not retreating, attacking. It feels good, strange to say that, but it does, to be the hunters instead of the hunted, to make the Germans run for a change. We liberated a village yesterday, name I can't pronounce. Belgian civilians came out crying, thanking us, hugging us. An old woman gave me bread, fresh baked bread, still warm. I almost cried. She said something in French. I don't speak French, but I understood. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. We hadn't come back for them. We came back to kill Germans, to retake territory, strategic objectives. But to her, we were liberators, heroes. I didn't feel like a hero, just a tired soldier eating warm bread. The landscape is destruction. Every village we pass is damaged. Burned buildings, shattered churches, destroyed homes and bodies everywhere. German, American, Belgian civilians, frozen in the positions they died in, some for weeks. We pass them, step around them. Sometimes we stop to check dog tags. American soldiers, identifying them so Graves registration can find them later. I found one yesterday. Young kid, barely looked 18. 2 bullet holes in his chest, frozen solid. His pocket was open, letter visible. I took it out. Read the return address. Mother in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. I put the letter back. Closed his eyes even though they were frozen open. Somebody's son, somebody's brother, lying in the snow in Belgium, never going home. I wanted to bury him, give him some dignity. But we had to keep moving. Orders. So we left him. Like we left so many others. Graves registration will find him, eventually. Tag him, ship him home in a box. Give his mother a flag. Cold comfort. Frank snapped yesterday. Just completely lost it. We were clearing a building, looking for German holdouts. He saw something, I don't know what. A dead German, a dead civilian, something. He started screaming, dropped his rifle, started hitting the wall with his fists, over and over, blood on the stone, blood on his hands. We had to restrain him. Eddie and Tommy and me held him down until he stopped fighting. He cried, great heaving sobs, couldn't breathe, hyperventilating. The medic gave him something, morphine I think, knocked him out. They evacuated him. Combat fatigue, shell shock, whatever name we're using this week. He's gone, sent to the rear, maybe home, maybe to a hospital. I'm glad. He needed help, needed to be away from this. But I'm also angry. We needed him. We're already short-handed. Losing Frank makes it worse. Selfish to be angry. I know that, but I can't help it. Now it's just Eddie, Tommy, and me. 3 men from the original 6-man crew. Jimmy's recovering somewhere. Hank lost his toes. Frank broke. The other 3 of us are still here, still fighting, still surviving, still becoming something other than human. Murphy died 2 days ago. The farm kid from Iowa, sniper, single shot through the head, dead before he hit the ground. He'd been with us less than 2 weeks. Didn't even learn to be scared properly yet. Still had hope. Still believed he'd make it home. Now he's another body waiting for Graves registration. I barely felt it. His death. Registered it. Moved on. Like flipping a page in a book. Is that normal? Should I feel more? Should I grieve? I don't have grief left. Used it all up. Now there's just emptiness. We got replacements again. 2 new guys. Names I haven't bothered learning yet. What's the point? They'll probably be dead in a week. That's terrible to think. But it's true. New guys die first. They don't know the tricks. Don't know the sounds. Don't know when to duck. They'll learn or they'll die. Probably die. I sound heartless. Maybe I am. Maybe that's what combat does. Burns out your heart, leaves you hollow. The Germans are fighting hard, even though they're losing, even though the offensive failed. They're still fighting like devils. Some are surrendering, walking out of ruined buildings with hands up. Young kids, old men. The Wehrmacht scraped the bottom of the barrel for this offensive, but some are fighting to the death, holding positions until we kill them. Fanatical. I don't understand it. The war's lost. Everyone knows it. Why keep dying for a lost cause? But then I think about us. Would we surrender? If Germany invaded Pennsylvania, if Pittsburgh was burning, would I quit? Probably not. I'd fight until someone killed me. so maybe I understand it after all. We found a German bunker yesterday. They'd abandoned it, left everything food, ammunition, personal items. There were pictures on the wall, girlfriends, wives, children, just like our pictures. Eddie made us take them down, said we're not sleeping in a room full of German faces. But I looked at them first. Young men smiling, holding babies, standing with parents. Normal lives, normal people. Then we killed them. Or they killed us. Or we all just died in the snow for reasons nobody really understands. I'm writing this in a captured German position. Their foxhole. Using their ammunition. Eating their rations. The rations are better than ours. Real bread. Sausage. Chocolate that doesn't taste like cardboard. Small victories. It's snowing again. Always snowing. My feet are numb. Have been for days. I can't remember what warmth feels like. But I'm alive. Still fighting. Still moving forward. 174 days until June. The number gets smaller. Each day brings me closer to Dorothy. Closer to home. Closer to the life we planned. If I can just survive. If I can just keep putting one frozen foot in front of the other. If I can just make it through one more day, and then another, and then another. I can do this. I have to do this. For Dorothy. For our future. For the chance to be human again. January 10th, 1945. Night. Defensive position east of Manhay. We've been pushing east for a week. Slow progress. Brutal fighting. But progress. The German salient is shrinking. The Bulge is flattening. We're squeezing them from north and south. They're trapped in a pocket. Trying to escape east. Back to Germany. Back across the Aar River where this all started. We're trying to trap them. Kill them. Destroy their offensive capability completely. It's working. Sort of. They're losing tanks, losing men, losing ground. But they're also escaping, slipping through gaps in our lines, disappearing into the woods. We can't be everywhere, can't stop everyone, so we fight where we are, kill who we can, let the rest go. It doesn't feel like victory, feels like slow grinding. Two armies bleeding each other in the snow. I watched a man die today. German, young, maybe my age, maybe younger. He was wounded, gut shot, lying in the snow crying for his mother. Mutti, Mutti, over and over. We passed him, kept advancing, somebody else's problem. But I heard him calling, heard the fear in his voice, the pain. I stopped, turned back, knelt next to him. He looked at me, terrified, thought I was going to shoot him, finish him. Instead, I gave him my canteen, water. He drank, coughed, blood on his lips. I couldn't save him. The wound was mortal. He'd be dead in an hour, maybe less, but I could sit with him, so he wasn't alone. Eddie yelled at me to move. We had to keep advancing. I told the German I was sorry. Don't know if he understood. Don't know if it mattered. Then I left him to die alone in the snow, calling for his mother. I can still hear it. Mutti, Mutti. Getting weaker, fading. Why did I do that? Stop for an enemy soldier? Give him water? Comfort him? I don't know. Maybe because he was human. Maybe because I'm still human, despite everything. Maybe I needed to prove that to myself. Eddie didn't understand. Said the Germans wouldn't do the same for us. Said I was wasting time. Maybe he's right. Probably is. But I'd do it again. Need to believe we're better than this. Better than just killing machines. Need to believe there's still humanity left. In me. In this war. Even if it's just a canteen of water for a dying enemy. Tommy's talking again. Just a little. Asked me yesterday if I thought we'd survive. I said yes. Lied again. But he needed to hear it. He nodded. Said he didn't want to die in Belgium. Wanted to die old. In California. His family's from California. I told him we'd make it. We'd both go home. Grow old. Die in our sleep surrounded by grandkids. He smiled. Small smile. But real. Maybe lies are all we have. Maybe hope is just another word for lying to yourself about the future. But if lies and hope are what keep us fighting, keep us alive, then I'll lie all day long. I'll hope, I'll believe, I'll pretend the future exists and we'll be there to see it, because the alternative is despair, and despair gets you killed. We got hot food again today. Stew, bread, coffee, first hot meal in 4 days. Sat in a tent, out of the wind, out of the snow, just eating like normal people. Men were laughing, telling jokes. For 20 minutes, we forgot where we were, what we were doing. For 20 minutes, we were just guys eating stew and telling stories. Then we finished, went back outside, back to the cold, back to the war. But those 20 minutes mattered, reminded us we're still human, still capable of laughter, still connected to normal life. I got a letter from my mother. She's worried. The news about the Bulge was everywhere. Casualties, losses, crisis. She asked if I'm eating enough, if I'm warm enough, if I'm praying. I wrote back, told her I'm fine, eating well, staying warm, praying every day. More lies, but kind lies. What else can I tell her? I can't describe this, can't explain what it's really like. She'd never sleep again. She'd worry herself sick. Better to lie. Let her think I'm safe. Let her have peace. My brother Patrick wrote too. Short letter. He doesn't say much. Never does. But he said he understands. Said combat changes you. Said I'm going to be okay. Eventually. He knows. He's been through this. He understands what I can't say to anyone else. That helped. More than I expected. Just knowing someone understands. Someone who's been there. I want to talk to him. Really talk. When I get home. About everything. All of it. Maybe together we can figure out how to be human again. How to live with what we've seen, what we've done. Maybe. If we're lucky. 167 days until June. 23 days since the offensive started. Feels like 23 years. The Bulge is almost flattened. Maybe another week. Maybe 2. Then we'll have the lines back where they were before December 16th. All those deaths. All that suffering. Just to restore the status quo. Was it worth it? Did it mean anything? I don't know. Can't know. Too close to it. Too deep in it. Maybe someday. When it's over. When I'm old. Maybe then I'll understand. Or maybe not. Maybe some things can't be understood. Only survived. I'm surviving. That's all I can do. One day at a time. One frozen step after another. Toward home. Toward Dorothy. Toward June. Toward a future that seems impossible but has to exist. Because if it doesn't, if there's no after, no future, no going home, then what's the point of any of this? January 16th, 1945, afternoon, near original positions east of Schoenberg. We're back where we started. I'm standing on the hillside where we had our gun position December 15th. The farmhouse is destroyed, burned, just rubble now. But the location is the same. The valley, the road, the R River. 1 month ago, we were here, safe, bored, waiting for the war to end. Then December 16th happened. Then St. Vith. Then the retreat. Then the counteroffensive. 31 days later, we're back. The ground is covered with bodies. German and American. Some from December. Some from last week. All frozen. All waiting for someone to bury them. There's our gun. The 57mm. Still here. Damaged, but here. The Germans didn't take it. Didn't destroy it. Just left it. Eddie walked over to it. Put his hand on the barrel. Said goodbye. We can't take it with us. Can't use it. It's done. We're done with it. But it feels wrong to leave it again. Like abandoning an old friend. The battalion is being reorganized. Again, we're taking replacements. New guns, new equipment. They're rebuilding the 801st TD Battalion from scratch. Eddie, Tommy, and I are being split up. Different companies, different crews. Eddie's going to Company B. Gunner on a new 57. Tommy's going to Company C. I'm staying in Company A. They're making me a gun commander. Promoted to sergeant. I don't want it. Don't want to lead a crew. Don't want the responsibility. But I don't have a choice. We need sergeants. I've survived. That makes me experienced. Experienced enough to lead new kids into combat. Kids like Murphy. Like the replacements who died last week. Kids who look at me like I have answers. I don't have answers. I just have survival. Luck. Random chance that kept me alive when others died. But that's enough, apparently. Enough to pin stripes on my sleeve and call me Sergeant Brennan. We said goodbye today. Eddie, Tommy, me, the last 3 from the original crew. We shook hands, promised to find each other when this is over. have a drink, talk about the guys we lost. Eddie said he's going to name his kid after me if it's a boy, Thomas. After the guy who gave him coffee on Christmas Eve, I didn't remember doing that, but he remembered. Small kindness that mattered to him. I told him to name the kid after himself. Eddie's a good name, strong name. He laughed. Said his wife already has names picked. He's just hoping he lives long enough to meet the kid. April. That's when the baby's due. 3 months away. I told him he'll make it. He will. He has to. Tommy just nodded. Quiet as always. But he gripped my hand tight, held it for a long moment. Then he walked away, headed toward Company C's area, didn't look back, and just like that, the crew is done, scattered. The 6 guys who started together in September. Only 3 left. And now we're not even together anymore. Jimmy's in a hospital in England, recovering. Might get sent home, might come back. Hank's in New Jersey, missing toes, medical discharge probably. Frank's in a psychiatric hospital. Combat fatigue, shell shock, might recover, might not. Eddie, Tommy, me. Still here, still fighting, but apart now. It hurts more than I expected, losing the crew. They were my family, the guys I trusted with my life. Now I have to start over. New crew, new faces, kids who don't know what combat's really like. I'm responsible for them now, for keeping them alive, for teaching them, for leading them. God help me. I met my new crew today, 4 men, all replacements, all green, Private Davidson, from Texas, 18 years old, cowboy, wants to be a gunner. Private Lee, from New York, Chinese American, good with mechanics, he'll drive. Private Schmidt, from Wisconsin, farm kid, strong, quiet, loader. Private Williams, from Georgia, talks too much, nervous energy, ammunition handler. They look so young, so eager, so completely unprepared. I tried to tell them what it's like, what they need to know, how to stay alive. They listened, nodded, thought they understood. They don't, can't, not until they experience it. I'm 21 years old. I feel 50. These kids are 18, 19. They look like children to me. When did that happen? When did I get old? We got orders. Moving out tomorrow. East. Into Germany proper. The offensive doesn't stop at the border. We're pushing all the way to the Rhine. Maybe beyond. The war's not over. Won't be for months, maybe longer. But the Bulge is done. The crisis is past. We held. We pushed back. We survived. Thousands didn't. 8,000 captured on the 19th alone. Thousands more killed, wounded, missing. But the line held. The Germans failed. Their last great offensive in the West broke against American stubbornness and Allied air power and winter weather, and guys like Eddie and Tommy and me who just refused to die. That's the real story. Not strategy, not tactics, just stubborn refusal to give up. I got a letter from Dorothy today, January 8th. Before she knew I survived, she's terrified. The newspapers are full of casualty lists, missing in action, killed in action. She doesn't know if I'm on those lists. She begged me to write, to let her know I'm alive. She said she can't sleep, can't eat, just waits for the telegram from the War Department. The telegram that tells families their son or husband or father is dead. I wrote her immediately, told her I'm alive. I'm okay. The fighting's mostly over. I'm safe. Half lies. The fighting in the Bulge is over, but we're heading into Germany. More fighting ahead. Maybe worse fighting. But she doesn't need to know that. She needs to believe I'm safe, needs to sleep, needs to hope. So I give her that. I lie. I protect her from the truth, because the truth would destroy her. And I can't do that. I told her about the promotion, about the new crew, about moving east. I told her I love her. I miss her. I think about her constantly. I told her June is still the plan, still our goal. I'm counting the days. All true. Every word. 161 days until June. 4 months left. Just 4 months. I can survive 4 months. I've survived this long. Survived December 16th. Survived St. Vith. Survived the retreat and the counteroffensive and everything in between. I can survive 4 more months. Then home. Then Dorothy. Then marriage. Then our life. That's the plan. That's the goal. That's everything. I'm going to make it. I have to make it. For Dorothy, for my family, for the crew, for everyone who didn't make it. I'm going to survive this war. I'm going to go home. I'm going to be human again, somehow, some way. I have to believe that. Have to hold on to that. Because without hope, without a future, without something to fight for, what's the point? January 22nd, 1945 evening, rest area near Liège. We pulled back for rest and refit. The battalion's in bad shape. Too many losses, too much combat. We need time to rebuild. They gave us a week, 7 days in a rear area, hot showers, hot food, actual beds, clean clothes. It feels like paradise. It feels wrong. While we're here, other units are fighting, dying. We're sleeping in beds and they're sleeping in frozen foxholes. Survivor's guilt, that's what the chaplain called it. He says all combat soldiers feel it. The guilt of being alive when others aren't. The guilt of resting when others are fighting. He says it's normal. It's healthy even. Means we're still human. Still capable of empathy. I don't feel human. Haven't for weeks. But I nodded anyway. We got to shower today. Real shower. Hot water. Soap. I stood under the water for 15 minutes. Just stood there. Let the heat sink into my bones. Let the water wash away weeks of blood and dirt and fear. I watched the water at my feet turn brown, then gray, then finally clear. My body is different. I've lost weight, maybe 15 pounds. My ribs show. Hip bones jut out. I'm all angles and bruises. My feet are scarred. White patches from frostbite. Missing toenails. But I still have all my toes. That's something. I look old. There's a mirror in the shower building. I looked at myself. Really looked. I don't recognize the face looking back. Hollow eyes, gaunt cheeks, lines around my mouth that weren't there in September. I'm 21. I look 40. Is this what Dorothy will see when I come home? This old broken thing wearing her fiancé's face? Will she still want me? Still love me? When she sees what the war's done to me? I don't know. I hope so. But I don't know. We got new uniforms. Clean. Pressed. They smell like soap instead of death. Small luxury. But it matters. Davidson asked me if it gets easier. The killing. The fear. The nightmares. Same question Murphy asked. Same lie I told him. I said yes. It gets easier. You learn to cope. Learn to compartmentalize. I'm getting good at lying. Truth is, it doesn't get easier. It gets harder. Each death weighs more. Each nightmare cuts deeper. Each day in combat strips away more of your soul. But these kids need hope. Need to believe they can survive and stay sane. So I lie. I protect them. It's my job now. The chaplain is running group sessions for the combat veterans. A chance to talk, process, heal. I went to one. Sat in a circle with a dozen other guys, everyone with that same hollow look, that same exhaustion. The chaplain asked if anyone wanted to share, talk about what they'd seen, what they'd done. Nobody spoke, just sat there, silent. Finally, one guy started crying, just broke down, great heaving sobs. He'd killed a kid, thought it was a German soldier in the dark, shot him, turned out to be a Belgian boy, maybe 12 years old. Wrong place, wrong time. The guy couldn't live with it. Kept seeing the kid's face, kept hearing the scream. We all just sat there. Nobody knew what to say. What comfort could we offer? We'd all done things, seen things, killed people. The chaplain talked about forgiveness, about God's grace, about how war forces impossible choices. I don't know if the guy heard him, don't know if it helped. After I walked out, couldn't stay, couldn't listen to more. Because if I started talking, if I started sharing, I might not stop. Might pour out everything. December 16th, Saint-Vith. The retreat. The dying German calling for his mother. All of it. And I can't do that. Can't let it out. Because if I do, the dam breaks. And I break with it. So I keep it locked inside. Buried deep. Deal with it later. After the war. If there is an after. I met a reporter today. War correspondent, writing about the Bulge, wanted to interview veterans, get their stories. He found me, asked if I'd talk, Tell him about my experiences. I said yes. Thought maybe it would help. Maybe telling someone would ease the pressure. He asked what it was like. December 16th. The offensive. The fighting. I tried to explain. The fear, the chaos, the cold, the death. He kept asking for details. Heroic details. Dramatic moments. Stories of courage and sacrifice. I didn't have those stories. I had survival. I had luck. I had watching friends die and running away and leaving wounded men and doing whatever it took to not die. That's not heroic. That's just animal survival. He seemed disappointed. Wanted something he could use. Something inspiring. Something to sell papers and boost morale. I couldn't give him that. So the interview ended. He thanked me for my time, moved on to find someone with better stories. I felt angry at him, at the situation, at the gap between what people want to hear and what actually happens. The war at home is different from the war here. At home, it's patriotism and sacrifice and glory. Here, it's fear and death and trying not to lose your mind. They'll never understand. The people at home, Dorothy, my parents, nobody who wasn't here will ever understand. That's the isolation, the thing that separates us from everyone else. We've seen things, done things, been changed in ways that can't be explained. We're marked, forever, by combat, by death, by the Bulge. Even if we go home, even if we survive, we'll never really leave this place. It'll be in our heads, our dreams, our scars. That's the real casualty, not just the dead, but the living who'll spend the rest of their lives trying to forget what they can never forget. I got another letter from Dorothy. She got my letter. Knows I'm alive. She cried with relief. She sent me a picture. New one. Her and her mother in front of their Christmas tree. Both smiling. Both healthy and safe and happy. I showed Davidson. Told him that's what we're fighting for. Girls like Dorothy. Families. Home. Normal life. He nodded. Understood. Every guy here has a version of that. Someone waiting, something worth surviving for. I'm writing this in an actual room, with walls, a roof, a bed, a lamp, simple things, but they feel like miracles after weeks of frozen foxholes. Tomorrow we have free time, no drills, no work details. Armatis Isles, just rest. Some guys are going into Liège, hit the bars, drink, try to forget for a few hours. I'm not going. Don't want to drink, don't want to forget. Can't afford to let my guard down. What if the memories come? What if the dam breaks? What if I start crying and can't stop? Better to stay here, stay controlled, stay numb. Eddie came by earlier. We talked for a while. About the crew. About the guys we lost. About what comes next. His wife's letter said the baby's doing well. She's excited, scared. Wants him to promise he'll be there for the birth. He can't promise that. Nobody can. But he told her he'd try, that he'd do everything possible to survive. That's all any of us can promise. We'll try, we'll fight, we'll do everything possible. The rest is luck, fate, God, whatever you want to call it. We can't control it, can only endure it. Tommy stopped by too. He's doing better, talking more, still quiet, still damaged, but better. He asked if I thought the war would end soon, before summer maybe. I said I hope so. But I don't know. Nobody knows. The Germans are beaten, but still fighting. We're pushing them back, but they're resisting. Could be weeks, could be months. All we can do is fight, survive, count the days until it's over. 155 days until June, 5 months, just 5 months. If I can survive 5 months, I get Dorothy. I get our life. I get everything. I can do this. I've come this far. I can go farther. For her, for us. For the future we're going to build when this nightmare finally ends. January 24th, 1945, night, same rest area. I got a letter today that changed everything. From Dorothy, she's pregnant. We're going to have a baby. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely hold the pen. I've read the letter 10 times, 20 times, still can't believe it. She's pregnant. About 2.5 months along, due in July. We conceived during my last leave. October. Before I deployed. I'm going to be a father. I don't know what to feel. Joy, terror, disbelief, everything all at once. A baby. My baby. Dorothy's baby. our baby, something we made together, out of love, out of hope for the future, before I knew what war really was, before December 16th, before everything changed. Dorothy's scared. She's only 20. We're not married yet. Her parents are upset. The neighbors will talk. It's 1944 and she's an unwed mother. But she's also happy. Says she's glad. Glad to have a piece of me with her. Glad to have this connection, this hope. She wants to get married before the baby comes, even if I can't be there. Have her parents witness. Make it legal. Give the baby my name. I wrote back immediately. Yes. Yes to everything. Whatever she wants, whatever she needs. Marry her parents' living room if necessary. I don't care about the ceremony. I care about her, about the baby, about making this right. I told her I'm sorry. Sorry I'm not there. Sorry she has to go through this alone. Sorry for everything. I told her I love her. I love them both. Her and the baby. My family. I told her I'm coming home. No matter what. I'll survive this. I'll make it home. I'll be there. I promise. A baby. I keep saying it. Out loud, to myself, trying to make it real. I'm going to be a father. There's a child growing, half me, half Dorothy, a new person who will look like us and sound like us and be ours. The thought is overwhelming, terrifying, beautiful, all at once. I have to survive now. Not just for Dorothy, for the baby, for this tiny person who doesn't even exist yet, but already means everything. I can't die in some frozen field in Germany. Can't become another body waiting for graves registration. Can't be a name on a casualty list. I have to live. Have to make it home. Have to be a father, a husband, a family. Everything's different now. The stakes are unbearable. Before it was just me, my life, my future. Now it's 3 lives. Dorothy, the baby, me, a family. Depending on my survival, the weight of it is crushing, but also liberating. I have a reason now. The best reason, the only reason that matters. I'm fighting for my child, for the chance to hold them, to see Dorothy's smile and my eyes and our hope made flesh. That's worth everything, worth any amount of suffering, any amount of fear. I'll survive this. I'll make it home. I'll meet my baby. I swear it. Davidson saw me after I got the letter, asked if everything's okay. I was crying, couldn't hide it. I told him, showed him the letter. He congratulated me, slapped my back, called me lucky. I am lucky, luckiest man alive. To have Dorothy, to have this baby coming, to have a future worth fighting for. I showed Eddie the letter. He understood. He's going through the same thing. Baby coming in April. We talked about it. About being fathers. About the weight of it. The terror and joy all mixed together. He said it makes him fight harder, smarter, more carefully. Because he can't afford reckless chances anymore. I understand that. Every decision matters now. Every risk has to be calculated. Every fight has to be one I can survive. For the baby. For Dorothy. For us. The guys are happy for me. Word spread through the company. Everyone congratulating me, shaking my hand, saying I'm going to be a great dad. I don't know if that's true. Don't know if I can be a great dad after everything I've seen, everything I've done, everything I've become. But I'll try. God, I'll try so hard. I'll learn. I'll heal. I'll become human again. For my child. For Dorothy. For the family we're going to be. I can do this. I will do this. 153 days until June. The wedding. 208 days until July. The baby. 2 target dates. 2 goals. 2 reasons to survive every day between now and then. I'm going to make it. I have to make it. There's no other option. Dorothy's counting on me. The baby's counting on me. They need me, and I need them. More than air, more than anything. They're my hope, my future, my reason. I'm coming home, Dorothy. I promise. I'm coming home to you and our baby. Nothing will stop me. Not the Germans, not the war, not death itself. I'm coming home. February 14th, 1945, evening, somewhere in Germany, Valentine's Day. I can't mail this. It's too personal, too raw. The censors would never let it through, but I'm writing it anyway. For Dorothy, for me, for us. My dearest Dorothy, we've been pushing deeper into Germany, fighting for every village, every crossroads, every frozen field. The Germans are defending their homeland now, fighting harder, more desperate, more vicious. Every day is combat, every night is guard duty. We barely sleep, barely rest, just fight and move and fight again. My crew's doing well. Davidson, Lee, Schmidt, Williams, good kids, learning fast, staying alive. We've lost men, replaced them, lost more. The cycle continues, but we're winning, slowly, grinding them down, breaking their resistance. We'll be across the Rhine soon, then Berlin, then victory, then home. That's what keeps me going. The thought of home, of you, of our baby. I think about you constantly, what you're doing, how you're feeling, how the pregnancy's going. Are you showing yet? Are you eating well? Are you getting enough rest? I worry about you, alone, pregnant, dealing with everything. I'm sorry I'm not there. Sorry you have to do this alone. Sorry for everything this war has taken from us. But I'm also grateful. Grateful you're carrying our child. Grateful you're safe. Grateful you're waiting for me. I love you more than I can express. You and the baby. You're my whole world, my entire future. When I close my eyes, I see our life. After the war, the three of us. Happy, safe, together. I see a little house, nothing fancy, just ours, with a yard where the baby can play. I see Sunday dinners with both our families, mom's cooking, your mother's laugh, the baby being passed around, everyone smiling. I see you and me, older, gray hair, watching our grandkids play, still holding hands, still in love, still grateful we survived to have this life. That's what I'm fighting for. Not for Belgium or France or Germany, not for democracy or freedom or any grand idea. For you, for our baby, for quiet Sunday mornings and ordinary happiness and the chance to grow old together. That's all I want, all I've ever wanted, you, us, our life. I'm going to make it home, Dorothy. I promise you. I swear on everything I am and everything we're going to be, no matter what happens, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how scared I am. I'm coming home. I'll be there when the baby's born. I'll hold them, count their fingers and toes, marvel at this miracle we made. I'll marry you, properly, in a church, with both our families watching. I'll put that ring on your finger and promise to love you forever. I'll build you that life I see when I close my eyes, the house, the family, the happiness. I'll be the husband you deserve, the father our child deserves, the man I want to be. I just have to survive, just have to keep fighting, keep moving forward, keep putting one foot in front of the other. 132 days until June, the wedding, 162 days until July, the baby. I'm counting every single one. Each day brings me closer to you, closer to home, closer to our future. I can do this. I will do this. For you, for our baby, for us. I love you, Dorothy Sullivan, soon to be Dorothy Brennan, mother of my child, love of my life. Wait for me. I'm coming home. All my love. Tom, March 1st, 1945, late afternoon, east of the Rhine River. This is my last entry. I'm stopping the diary now. We're about to cross the Rhine, the final push into Germany, the end game. I've been writing this diary for 3 months, through the Bulge, through the counter-offensive, through everything. It helped, kept me sane, gave me a place to put all the fear and grief and horror that I couldn't show anyone else. But I don't need it anymore. Not the same way. Dorothy's letters are enough now. They remind me who I am, who I want to be, what I'm fighting for. The diary was for processing, for surviving, for making sense of chaos. But I'm past that now. Not healed, not whole, but functional, forward-focused, committed to surviving not just for survival's sake, but for a specific future. Dorothy, the baby, home, life. That's enough. That's everything. The war's still happening. We're still fighting, still dying. There's weeks or months of combat ahead, maybe more. The Rhine crossing will be brutal. Germany will be brutal. Every step toward Berlin will cost blood. But the end is visible now. Not today, not tomorrow, but eventually, soon. The war's winding down, and I'm going to survive it. I know that now. Not hope, not wish, knowledge, deep certainty. I'm gonna make it. Not because I'm better or smarter or braver than the guys who died, just because I have to. Because Dorothy's waiting, because the baby's coming, because I promised, and I keep my promises. My crew's good, solid, we work well together. They trust me, I trust them. We've been through some fights. Lost Williams last week, replaced him with a kid named Johnson. But the core crew's intact, we're effective. Eddie's doing well, his wife's 8 months pregnant now, baby's due in 6 weeks, he's terrified he'll miss the birth. But he's focused, determined, going to make it. Tommy's recovered, not completely, he's still quiet, still carries the weight, but he's functional, fighting, surviving. The three of us meet when we can, talk about the guys we lost, about the Bulge, about what comes after. We're brothers now. Combat binds you in ways nothing else can. We'll stay connected after the war. Have to. Only we truly understand what we went through. I got a letter from Dorothy yesterday. She's 5 months pregnant now. Starting to show. The baby's kicking. Active, strong. She went to the doctor. Everything's healthy. Normal. On track for July. She married me. Her parents as witnesses. City Hall. February 28th. 2 days ago. She's Dorothy Brennan now. My wife. Even though I wasn't there, she sent me a picture. Her in a simple white dress, holding a bouquet, smiling. Beautiful. My wife, the mother of my child. I cried when I saw it. Happy tears, relief tears, grateful tears. She's mine. I'm hers. We're a family. Legally, officially, forever. Now I just have to survive long enough to live that reality. The Rhine's in sight. Wide, dark, cold. The last major barrier before the German heartland. We cross tomorrow. Under fire. Into the teeth of German resistance. Men will die. Maybe a lot of men. Maybe me. But I don't think so. I'm going to make it. Going to cross that river. Going to keep fighting. Going to survive. For Dorothy. For the baby. For our life. I'm done with this diary. Done processing. Done looking back. From now on, I'm only looking forward. To June, to July, to home. To Dorothy's smile and the baby's first cry and the rest of our lives together. I'll write the next chapter when I'm home, when I'm safe, when I can hold Dorothy and meet my child and start being the man I want to be, if I'm lucky. When I'm lucky. Because I will be lucky. I've made it this far, survived when thousands didn't. Been blessed beyond measure with a woman who loves me and a baby on the way and a future worth fighting for. That luck will hold. Has to hold. Will hold. 128 days until June, 158 days until July. I'm coming home, Dorothy. I'm meeting our baby. I'm living our life. I promise. This is Thomas Brennan, private first class, sergeant, gunner, survivor, husband, father-to-be, signing off. See you soon, Dorothy. See you very soon. Epilogue. Thomas Brennan survived the war. He was wounded during the Rhine crossing in March 1945, sustaining shrapnel wounds to his leg and shoulder. He recovered in a field hospital and returned to duty in April. He fought through Germany until VE Day, May 8, 1945. He returned to Pittsburgh in July 1945, 3 weeks after his daughter Margaret was born on July 5th. He met her for the first time on July 23, 1945. Dorothy said he cried for an hour, holding her, unable to speak. He married Dorothy Sullivan, now Brennan, in a church ceremony on August 18, 1945, with both families present. His brother Patrick was best man. The reception was held in the church basement. 83 people attended. Thomas worked at Jones and Laughlin Steel Company for 38 years, retiring in 1983. He and Dorothy had 2 more children, Thomas Jr. in 1947 and Catherine in 1950. He rarely spoke about the Battle of the Bulge. When asked, he would say only that it was cold, that good men died, and that he was lucky to survive. He remained close with Eddie Shaw and Tommy Chen. They met once a year on December 16th, the anniversary of the offensive. They would have dinner, tell stories about the crew, and remember the fallen. Eddie Shaw's son Thomas, named for Thomas Brennan, was born April 12, 1945. Eddie survived the war and became a teacher in Ohio. Tommy Chen returned to California, married, and worked in his family's restaurant business. Frank Delacroix never fully recovered from his breakdown. He spent 2 years in psychiatric hospitals before being medically discharged. He never met his daughter. He died in 1962. James Kowalski recovered from his wounds and returned to combat in March 1945. He survived the war and returned to Chicago. Henry Morrison lost 3 toes to frostbite but kept his feet. He was medically discharged in February 1945 and returned to Tennessee. Thomas Brennan died December 3, 1998, of heart failure. He was 74 years old. He was surrounded by his wife, his 3 children, and 7 grandchildren. This diary was found among his personal effects and donated to the National World War II Museum by his daughter Margaret in 2001. Of the 6 men who served on Tom Brennan's gun crew on December 15, 1944, only Thomas Brennan and Eddie Shaw survived the war. Of the approximately 120 men in Company A, 801st Tank Destroyer Battalion, in December 1944, fewer than 40 survived the Battle of the Bulge unscathed. The Battle of the Bulge lasted from December 16, 1944 to January 25, 1945. American casualties totaled approximately 89,000, including 19,000 killed, 47,000 wounded, and 23,000 captured or missing. It remains the largest and bloodiest battle fought by the United States Army in World War II. Thomas Brennan was one of the lucky ones. He came home.